It's a Friday visit with the one and only. It's Chris Egan from King 5, who joins us every Friday to put a bow on the week. Brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations, Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. You can book one of their 3 food trucks, catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, FatZachsPizza.com. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Chris Egan 5. Of course, all of his work up at King5.com. How are you, sir? Can you believe Jim Moore's has never seen Cheers?
Puck, I'm about as shocked by those comments as the Seahawks run game right now. The fact that he has not seen Cheers or Seinfeld. I mean, where was he during the 90s and the early 2000s? I mean, Seinfeld was my wife and I recall working in Medford, Oregon. I started in Klamath Falls, then I went to Medford, Oregon. And this is the days of there was a 5 o'clock news and an 11 o'clock news. And I was the sports director in Medford. I would anchor the 5 o'clock news, go home, have dinner at our home in Central Point, and we would watch Seinfeld every Thursday. It was like just clockwork. And then Cheers. I mean, I'm just baffled that. And next thing you know, he's going to say he hasn't seen the movie Star Wars. I'm just at some point you have to question people that haven't seen these shows.
I agree.
Are they AI or are they real? So I don't know.
Are they AI?
I don't know. But Puck, to answer your question, great day. The rain is out. As a PNW native, I have no issues with the rain. I know this is a time when a lot of people start getting depressed. They start getting, here comes the rain. You know, they put on their North Face and their sweaters and they go into hibernation. But you know what? I embrace it. I love a little rain. I'm all for it. It's fun times. I'm just looking outside, seeing a couple of squirrels climbing around the trees. I mean, life to be a squirrel, Puck. I mean, if we could just the squirrel, they don't have to vote. They don't have to pay bills. I'm coaching 2 teams right now. They don't have to worry about emails to parents.
What is wrong with you? The life of a squirrel?
I'm looking out right now at these 2 squirrels, Puck. Just looks like they're smiling and just having fun chasing after everybody.
I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to talk about this rain and this weather. I want you to talk to me in about a month. Okay. And I want to see if you're so excited about, God, it's fired up, another day of 41 and rain.
Well, I mean, it is sad that, you know, it's time to put the pickleball net away. And yes, I mean, the weather is getting gloomy. I will say this, and you as well, Puck, should know this. If you are a PNW native, if you've moved into this area, do not vacation in August or September.
I never understand.
Sometimes you're forced that way because of youth sports teams, and that's really only the month you're free. But I got to tell you what, take a break from a basketball tournament and vacation in January or February, maybe even mid-December if you can get away. That will do your soul some good just to get away. Grab some heat, grab a little vitamin D, and then pop back into the PNW with the 41 and rainy. So there you go.
Hey, Jim and I, we talked a lot about this in the beginning when he was on the beginning of the show, just about this this topic that's been going on now for a couple of weeks about Seahawks fans.
Oh, yeah.
You know, selling their tickets. It's not the home field advantage it once was. Yada yada yada. What's your take on it?
Well, I think the team and the fan base have a little, it's going to be an interesting Sunday with the Rams coming to town. I think they definitely are going to make a statement here. I think those days may be gone because now you're seeing a lot of people traveling out. It's like vacation trips. For the years, how many times have we seen that big crowd down in Arizona? The game in Atlanta, you could argue there was more Seahawks fans than Falcons fans because this is their only chance to see this team. And I think sometimes people, yes, it's expensive. Yes, they've seen the team at Lumen Field before, and it's definitely gone down since the LOB days. But let's see. The Rams are coming to town. I think it's a statement weekend for the 12s. It's a statement team for the Hawks, who just look like that was one of the worst games I've watched this team play against the Buffalo Bills, Puck. So I think it's going to be interesting this weekend. The fans and this team need to take it up a notch because,
What do you think the reason for it is, though? I mean, do you really think it's being I feel like people are coming away saying like every week now Like the stadium is no longer the home field advantage because it's being taken over from opposing fan bases. And I guess I would push back on that. I mean, we're talking about the Bills who just travel. Okay, and then the 49ers. The 49ers, even in the heyday under Carroll, 49ers were always inside that stadium. There weren't a bunch of Giants fans there earlier this year. There weren't a bunch of Dolphin fans there.
No. And let's be clear on the Bills game. Was there a little blue and red in there? Yes. Did it overpower the amount of Seahawks fans? No. If you're going to say that, then you really didn't see the crowd. Yes, there were a lot of Bills fans in town, and the Bills travel well.
Yeah.
If you're a West Coast Bills fan, whether that's in Washington, Oregon, up in Vancouver, Canada, this is your only chance probably to see this team ever. So you're going to pay what it takes to get to Seattle and watch this game. And Puck, let's be honest. Why did we not hear the 12s? Well, there was absolutely zero to cheer for in that game. I mean, like I said, I put the highlights together that night, and I'm searching for just anything. I put a 16-yard Ken Walker catch and run as one of my highlights. I don't even put that on my high school highlights at night, a 16-yard catch and run, because I was searching for so many highlights.
Were you there in the first? You were there in the first half?
Yes, and then I head over to the station.
Yeah, I thought the first half was okay. The first quarter I thought was loud. I thought when Job intercepted the ball, that was as loud as it always is in the stadium. And I mean, again, maybe I'm coming from a different perspective. Our seats were really for that game were in the south end zone, and that south end zone. And I love my south end zone people.
Oh yeah,
the south end zone people, they get after it. That's a 253 crowd, baby.
That's the 253.
They don't F around in the south end zone.
That's big low. That's defense. And you know what? I was there a couple days later. Actually, was it the next night? And that's same with the Sounders crowd. That's
drinking at 7 in some parking lot. Damn right.
And don't mess around with them. And those are your season ticket holders. Those are your ones that dress up. That's the home of Mama Blue, where she would hang for so many years. Sam Dog, my big fan, Sam Dog.
Sam Dog?
I love Sam Dog.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
He's usually in the corner of the end zone, but the reason I love him is that his mom was one of my kids' teachers, so he knows me. So every time I come out into Lumen Field, Egan, Sam Dog is here, and I'm like, everybody needs a Sam Dog out there. I love Sam Dog. The Seahawks Nation knows Sam Dog.
Okay, I don't know who that is. I need a picture of Sam Dog.
Sam Dog.
Hold on. If can I find him like on the internet? Sam Dog.
I think you probably could. You could. I mean, Sam Dog is just one of those guys. All of a sudden, he'll just show up everywhere. There he is with Marshawn Lynch. There he is. I mean, he's just. I don't know how he gets his money and he gets to all these places.
Is it Sam or Some Dog? Some Dog?
Sam
Dog. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right.
I'll get some photos for you.
Is Seahawks still around?
Seahawk, I believe, is out there. Yes. Okay. And then what's interesting, Puck. I don't know how much you get.
Oh yeah, he is.
Fans
there. I just found a picture of him.
Of Seahawk. Then you got Mr. and Mrs. Seahawk.
Hold on.
You got Kenny Burns, Greg. Those two are I mean, there's so many diehard fans out there. It's fun.
Hey, look at Seahawk. Look at him.
Oh yeah.
Look at him.
I mean, if you look like that, Puck, I'd dress like that to a game too.
Wouldn't you? Look at this guy.
Oh.
And that was the outfit, right? That's like a shirt. He's not really that ripped, right?
I think he's pretty ripped. I've seen Seahawk up close. I think he is pretty ripped.
There he is again. Look at him. Didn't he do the go? There's Big Low. Didn't he do the GoFundMe to go to the Super Bowl?
I think he did. Yes, he felt he should have been there.
Which one is this guy? The guy that dresses up like this? Who's that guy?
Is that Kilt Man? I'm having trouble seeing.
You can't see that guy?
I'm looking.
Right here on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know who that's Mr. Seahawk, isn't it?
Is that Mr. Seahawk?
Yeah, I think that's Mr. Seahawk there. Yeah. He's dressed up and you know what? I'm not too concerned, like you said, Puck. I think yes. I think the fans need to put a little chip on their shoulder for this Sunday and bring it a little bit. But yes, you are 100% correct. When a team like the Bills comes to town, a team that we don't see often,
do you think fans though? Do you think should the organization do something? Fans that sell their tickets, and because there are some out there that are just selling their tickets to every game. And it doesn't matter. They don't care who it is. They've bought season tickets, and they've looked at it as an investment, and they'll just sell it to the highest bidder. And sometimes that highest bidder will be an opposing fan base. Do you think, what do you feel about? Is that wrong? Should they have their season tickets pulled if they're doing that?
Well, I mean, I don't know how you police that. I
don't know how you.
I don't know how you would check. I know Steve Ballmer is doing that with the Clippers. They have the wall. I don't know if you've seen that puck yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have to be a Clippers fan in that section, and I don't know how he's doing it. I guess I would study how he's doing it because
you have to join a. You have to join a. It's a club. It's club. Literally, and you have to prove your Clippers fandom. But here's the thing about being the wall: you can't sit down.
No, you're up the whole time.
You got to stand the whole time.
I mean, even at a good rock concert, I like to take a song off and sit down for a little bit and relax the legs a little bit.
Dogs are barking, guy.
Oh, I'm telling you what, Puck. One of the best concerts and worst concerts for me was the Kenny Chesney concert at Lumen Field, and we got there so early. Or was it T-Mobile? I can't remember. It was one of the big stadiums, and I'm in the mosh pit area, and I couldn't even get through half of Kenny Chesney's because the dogs were barking, and I needed some time to sit down.
Hips are hurting, knees are hurting. Egan's like, "Come on, man, let me get that down."
Yeah, so I like to sit down a little bit. So yeah, the wall. I give credit to all those Clippers fans that are in the wall, but you know what, Puck? It's interesting. You talk about the fan base and maybe things are changing there. Are things changing the day after how? State of Washington trick-or-treat numbers were down drastically.
Wait a minute. Where do you get these numbers? What are you polling kids? Come on. What do you mean? What did you have? You have, what's her name? Natalie. What was Natalie's last name? Washby or what? Do you have one of your political reporters out there polling kids at the elementary schools? Excuse me, Jim, did you go out last night and what did you pull down?
It's an exclusive Egan trick-or-treat poll that was done on my Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of people across the state are agreeing with me that their numbers were down quite a bit.
Numbers were down.
Weather, maybe it's the weather, but have we lost a little of that luster of going out and trick-or-treating with your families? I don't know. I mean, it was Puck. I'm going to say this. I was a little sad. My 8th grader didn't want to go out. No, he didn't want to go out. And then I see my niece who's a junior in high school, and she was going out. So I'm like, maybe his parents, maybe that's my problem. So I got to look myself in the mirror. But I had a lot of king sizes ready to go, and numbers down.
Huh. The 6th grader, the vampire, came home and he weighed his bag 11 pounds.
Wow.
Pretty good.
11 pounds of candy is a haul. Good for him.
That is a haul.
Dump it onto the floor too. Dump it onto the floor and then just start organizing it all.
Not yet. No, not yet. He's kept it. He wants to keep it in the bag to keep it away from his older sister.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How was the? How was the Puckett household? Did you have?
We are on a weird street, though, man. It's just we don't get a lot on our street, even being in a dense Seattle neighborhood. It's just odd. Everyone walks past our street to get down to this lower part of the neighborhood where I was telling Jim this earlier, where the streets down there are going more north south, and then everyone just goes down there. So we never get kids.
And I think that's what's happening now is you parents are just taking them to big neighborhoods because there's those huge neighborhoods nowadays, and they just let them go, and then they just sit in the car with their Pinot Grigio and enjoy the night. And then also you have, I don't even know what it's called, but people on Facebook were saying a lot of kids are doing trunk-or-treating now.
Trunk-or-treating?
Trunk-or-treating. Is that at the mall? I don't know what that is. I haven't heard about it, but apparently that's a popular thing now.
What the hell? So, they went to the mall and just walked around the mall?
They just said on Facebook, on my unofficial Egan exclusive Halloween survey, that people aren't going to neighborhoods anymore. They're doing trunk or treating.
Huh. Yeah.
So if anybody's listening and wants to chime in on what trunk or treating is.
I'll tell you what, it was a sad day for me, though, because this was the last year. I mean, this was the first year I didn't go out with one of them.
Oh.
And I really didn't want to do it last year when he was in 5th grade, but there was some other. But I did it anyways. I'm like, he's old. 5th grade he can go by himself. But this year was obviously a no way I was going out 6th grade. But I was a little sad that part of that's fun is walking around. You know everyone in your neighborhood. I got a backpack. It's got a box wine in there. Everyone's got adult shots at the houses, and I'm like, I just sat at home. I was like,
I was enjoying my new favorite drink, the Moscow Mule. Went out to the bar a couple nights ago.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that Moscow Mule.
Made a couple last night at home too, and I'm telling you what, Puck, it's my new drink of November, the Moscow Mule.
The Moscow Mule. Hey, I got an update. David Johnson. It's a lot of cars in a parking lot and trunks full of candy.
Well, where is that? Okay, thank you, David, for that. Trunk or treat, a lot of cars in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. All right.
Schools are doing trunk or treating. I don't know. So cars pull up and there's just a bunch of candy in the trunk. Is that what people are doing?
That seems almost easy. I don't know. I feel like there's something about walking to homes and I don't know. Maybe that's safer. Maybe that's safer now, but
I don't know. Going to where like cars in a parking lot and trunks. Yeah, grab that candy. That's Gee, I don't know. It's something odd about. There's just something odd about that. What they should have done, all these schools on Friday, is no school.
Yeah,
no school Friday.
That's the problem. Is you got school tonight. I mean, my kid had 2 tests. Maybe that was one reason he didn't want to go out. He had a couple tests going on. So I mean, it's tough. I will say this, Buck, as we talk about the 12s and whether they're going up or down, whether trick-or-treating is going up and down, I will say this. I need to give a shout-out to Sumner High School. They last Friday, Puck, and if anybody's listening and has a kid growing up and going up to high school and you want to know, gosh, you just gone are the glory days. Oh, my God, Puck. I've been doing high school football for 15 years, and I could argue that was the greatest big game I've ever been to in my life. And when I say greatest awesome. For me, I'm talking about environment, just the fans, were they into it, were parents there? And I sat back and I thought about this, like, why was this so good? And could other schools do this? And yes, they could. At 4 o'clock, I think it was 3:30 to 4:30, they had a parade through downtown Sumner. Now, not everybody has that luxury of a small downtown to do that, but that was awesome. You had all the old timers out there along the streets. Pretty simple parade. You just take your band, your cheerleaders, and every class had a float. Thought that was really cool. I talked to Coach Keith Ross, who's been at Sumner for over 2 decades, and he's one of the best in the state. And we talked about why is his team so good. And he talked about, you know what, Chris, they are not I love these kids, but I provide discipline, and you need to be disciplined to be successful in high school football. And, some people don't like him because he's tough on kids. And but his kids show up. There's the parade right there. I mean,
look at this.
This is pretty cool.
They had a parade.
They had the parade going through downtown, which is just awesome, Puck. And then you've got the cheerleaders involved. You've got the band involved. Here's the student. I mean, look at it. It looks like Texas, and this is Sumner. I mean, the place is just packed to the rafters. Here's an interesting note what they do. They have a principal, Mr. Baines, and he has at one of the ends of the end zone, Puck, it's called Baines Land. And he encourages all the teachers and administrators to show up for the high school big game or the high school game every Friday night. And at the end of the end zone, it's Baines Land, where you've got all these chairs and everything going on, Puck. And then he has like toys, because a lot of these teachers have kids that are 2, 3, 4 years old. He's got toys for the kids to play with. And then he's got food being served. So you've got one side of the end zone is just packed with teachers and administrators, which is cool. And this seems so simple, but I don't know why schools don't do it. At the other end of the end zone, it's a bunch of leather couches. And there you see me in one of the leather couches. They call it the VIP section. So you just get some of the big businesses from your town. They pay to be on one side of the end zone. So they're putting money into the program. And they're getting a VIP treatment, and they had fireworks. And then in the end, Puck, you had the picture there, the shout out for me the students also did their homework, and they had a parking spot.
Look at this. Hold on. I'm playing the fireworks for Chris. They had a fireworks show after the game?
No, this was at halftime. They did this. Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, this was better than most 4th of July shows going on. So
what is going on down there in Sumner?
So I'm sure that money came from the Booster Club. And so here's the deal: anybody can do this. You just gotta just stop talking and go do it. But you need parents' help to do this stuff, and you need support from the administration. And then again, you've got a great staff. Yeah. We did a game day version there with the kids. If you're watching on the YouTube version, where the kids, they wanted to do like the ESPN game day, which was fun. But the kids, as I mentioned, did their homework. They had a sign for Tony Ventrella. They had a sign for Alan Reed. Alan Reed spent many, many nights down in Sumner shooting video. Both of those two King 5 sports legends passed away in the past year, and they had signs for them. So in the end, Sumner.
That was freaking awesome. That's like the best. That's like the best atmosphere I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. But my point is, anybody can do this. I mean, any school can do this. It just takes a little organization, a little work, and here's my favorite part of the game that I didn't even mention, Puck. When the game ends, when the game is over, and everybody goes home, and I'm getting set to do my live shot, I was not by myself in that stadium. You know who was also in the stadium? The senior class was helping the janitors pick up the stadium. So I don't know how that's I've seen that at some other places, not a lot of places, but pretty cool stuff when you got a whole senior class out there picking up.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and we'll be hopefully, we'll be at Bellevue tonight, the big game. So we'll see if we can keep it rolling. Bellevue,
because this is the week. This is like the preliminary playoffs, right?
Yeah.
This is not the first round. What do we even call this? Just the preliminary playoffs?
Like a crossover seeding week or something like that. So I think everybody's battling for seeding. So that was fun. No, it's been a fun week from Sumner. Obviously, the Seahawks was a stinker. Great to see Brian Smetzer and the Sounders get a win at home in a shootout. That was a fun environment. And here comes the Rains, Puck, and get ready.
So wait, you're in Bellevue tonight, Bellevue Interlake. That's the big game of the week?
Bellevue Interlake, the battle for the 425, the battle for Bellevue Square.
Okay.
The home of
the battle of Bellevue Square. They should call it that, the Battle of Bellevue Square, which still, malls are going away everywhere, but Bellevue Square, still a top-notch mall. Great mall.
I mean, that's number one mall. I mean, there's no open spots in that Bellevue Square. To get in there.
Yeah, there's no malls anymore. There are no I'm not going down to South Center, and I'm not going up to what's the one up north that I'm blanking on? Alderwood? Yeah, no, I'm going over to Bellevue Square.
Yeah, and then soon I'm sure it will be coming the parade through Bellevue during the Christmas time.
the freaking candy cane lane or whatever the hell it's called.
My wife wants to do that parade every year, and it's the same thing. But yet there I am.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah, you just keep doing it. That's all you do.
And it's snowing. I'm like, no, it's fake snow. But whatever. Yeah.
All right, my friend. We'll cut you loose. You're the best. Have fun at Bellevue Interlake tonight. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate it as always.
You got it, bud.
There he is, Chris Egan, King 5. He joins us every single Friday. Egan, brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations, Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks. Catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. You find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and fatzachspizza.com. You can also follow Chris on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Egan 5. Catch all of his work up there at king5.com.